So this past weekend was Anime Expo, one of the premier anime and manga conferences where we usually get some juicy manga announcements. And I'm gonna be completely honest, I am a little bit disappointed that these big manga publishers didn't come with more heavy hitters. I mean, Dark Horse and Viz, I don't even know if they had anything. But just because some manga publishers were slacking this weekend, there are still some really exciting manga announcements. I picked 5 of my absolute favorites from the weekend to share with you guys in this video. And though I'm stoked for all 5 things on today's list, this will be going in order of excitement level, so the very best will be saved for last. So hopefully you do enjoy this video. Make sure to go down and leave a comment, tell me what manga announcement you are most excited for, whether it's one I talked about in this video or one that I missed, make sure and let me know. But hopefully you do enjoy the video. If you do, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more manga videos just like this. But without any further ado, I say we get right into the top 5 manga announcements from Anime Expo 2025. And starting things off on a very interesting note, at the number 5 spot, we have an announcement from Faku. And yes, I am talking about that Faku, the hentai publisher, but they did have a pretty cool announcement. That is that they are publishing Shiro Masamune's Greaseberries in English. Now, as you can tell from the cover, and that's coming from Faku, this is obviously an 18+ series, so I can't recommend anyone younger than that go and check this one out, obviously. Now, obviously, I don't talk about hentai on this channel very often, if ever, but I do think this is a notable announcement because Shiro Masamune is a manga legend, creating some of the most famous sci-fi manga ever, like Appleseed and, of course, Ghost in the Shell. And anytime we get something new in English from such a renowned manga author, I think it's definitely worth mentioning. Not to mention that the sexual tones are very present in his other series, especially Ghost in the Shell, so kind of seeing a more uncensored and completely explicit creation from the mind of one of these sci-fi greats, I think that's personally really cool. Now, coming in at the number 4 spot is coincidentally another announcement regarding Shiro Masamune. That is an announcement from Kodansha. They revealed the Legacy Edition hardcover box set for Ghost in the Shell is releasing in 2026. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Ghost in the Shell does have a few English prints. I believe there are some soft covers as well as a hardcover box set, but they're not perfect, particularly that I believe every edition we've gotten in English so far has been censored to some degree. But it was announced at Kodansha's panel that this new Legacy Edition box set will be completely uncensored, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a first for English physical print. It'll also come with a few new illustrations, some posters, and some stickers as well, so you're getting all sorts of different goodies in here. Now, as for how much this thing is gonna cost, it was announced by Kodansha that this will retail for $139.99, which I believe is less than you can currently get the deluxe set that is out right now for. Plus, with all the extra stuff you're getting and a new uncensored version, I think this is the perfect way to get into Ghost in the Shell if you have not already, and I wouldn't doubt it if this is the definitive way to read this manga for the foreseeable future. So up next at the number 3 spot is actually a shoujo manga announcement, which is not typical for this channel, but when it comes to long out-of-print manga and stuff that I know a lot of you guys are going to want to get your hands on, I can't leave it off the list. At the number 3 spot, we have Kodansha's announcement that Mars is getting a new 30th anniversary deluxe edition. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with this series, Mars is of course a shoujo romance series from 1996, which does have a complete English physical run from, I believe, Tokyo Pop, but it has been out of print and very expensive for several years, making it a holy grail set for shoujo manga collectors. Now, personally, I don't know much about this manga, but it just makes me so happy seeing shoujo fans get some of their grails reprinted and available, especially in newer, nicer formats. It seems like all the best and most highly acclaimed manga that the demographic has to offer are long out of print and super inaccessible. At their panel, Kodansha did thank the fans for being vocal and letting them know that they wanted a Mars reprint, as it kind of gave the staff who were wanting to do it more foundation and leverage to base it off of, which ultimately led to these deluxe editions getting greenlit in the first place. So just remember, your voice does matter. Make sure you speak up for the things you want, and you never know what you just might get. Now, as for these editions, they will be 2-in-1 hardcovers with, it says, like glittery, sparkly covers, which I believe will be similar to the Parasite full color editions. Note that this manga, the Mars Deluxe Edition, will not be in full color, just the kind of hardcover book will look similar. So not only is this a super exciting announcement for fans of this series, but it kind of sets the precedent that these manga publishers are still listening and willing to reprint these older out-of-print shoujo series in newer editions. And yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about this particular manga, so it might just be one I add to my own collection. Now, switching tunes away from shoujo, coming in at the number 2 spot is something that is a little bit more up my own alley personally, and that is the announcement from Yen Press that the Battle Royale manga is getting a new deluxe edition. Now, of course, Battle Royale, one of the most infamous, gory, violent manga that there is, about this group of middle schoolers who get put into this televised death game where they have to kill each other with guns and bombs and grenades and all sorts of stuff on this secluded island. Now, if Battle Royale does have one thing in common with the aforementioned Mars manga, is that they are long out of print. I mean, you have the singles, which I personally have in my own collection, which are of course out of print, as well as I believe they're called the Ultimate Editions, these 5 chunky hardcover books that the last 2 are almost impossible to find. Not to mention that the Battle Royale English translation is widely regarded as one of the worst manga English translations of all time, and it was announced that we will be getting a new translation from Yen Press in this new deluxe edition, so not only is it coming back into print, but it's coming back better than ever. So at last, we've reached the number 1 spot, my personal most hyped manga announcement from this past weekend's Anime Expo 2025. You may be thinking, what could possibly top a Battle Royale Deluxe Edition? Well, my friends, that's going to be that Titan manga announced they will be publishing 5-star stories. Now, I'm sure that some of you guys aren't familiar with the 5-star stories manga. It's a sci-fi mech manga from, I believe, the 1980s, so a real classic that actually does have an English print, but if you didn't know it did, I wouldn't blame you. Basically, this manga was published in English decades ago by Toys Press, which is a publisher, or I guess a company co-founded by the author of the 5-star stories manga, and it was put out into these really thin volumes that almost look like magazines. If I'm not mistaken, each English volume contains 2/3 of a Japanese tankobon, which is really weird. I don't know why they did it, but we got 26 of those, which isn't even the complete series in English, and then just crickets. We didn't get any more for years. And you can kind of put 2 and 2 together, a really random manga publisher for an old sci-fi manga that is incomplete. Yeah, these English volumes, a complete set, can go for thousands of dollars. It would be no exaggeration to say that 5-star stories is currently one of the most expensive and hard to collect manga that exist in English, period, full stop. So you can imagine my excitement when I saw that Titan Manga would be publishing the complete run of 5-star stories in English. I just was over the moon to finally be able to own this manga. And I'm sure some of you guys probably haven't even heard of Titan Manga. They have done a couple manga releases. They're more known for comics. They've done IL by Osamu Tezuka, as well as Adam the Beginning, which is also based off of a Tezuka series, Astro Boy. And from everything I've seen, Titan Manga does good work with their releases. I'm not sure what format this will be in, if it's oversized or like a tankobon, which I just showed, but either way, this is a massive W for sci-fi fans and out-of-print collectors who want to own this series for, a price tag less than $4,000. Really one of the holy grails. I never thought in a million years would get an English physical print again, so I'm all here for it. Day 1 purchase, and if you're looking for a really slept-on sci-fi manga, definitely recommend 5-star stories when it comes out. Anyways, guys, that is my list for the top 5 most hype manga announcements from this past weekend's Anime Expo. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Again, make sure to leave in the comments down below which announcement you're personally most excited for. And of course, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more manga videos just like this. So yeah, this has been Thepromg. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. And as always, hope to catch you in the next one.